Let us begin. Good morning and welcome to everyone. Welcome to Mind the Moment's Thursday morning mindfulness session, brought to you by Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare. And this is a place where we invite experienced instructors on mindfulness to talk to us about what mindfulness means to them and to discuss and process as a community how we can incorporate these practices into our daily lives. I'm Suzanne Rowe Palacino, and I am so happy to be here this morning with Greg Topakian, mindfulness instructor and longtime meditator. Good morning, Greg.
Good morning, Suzanne. How are you?
I am doing great. How are you doing?
Yeah, pretty good, given everything. Healthy, everybody's healthy, so that's the big thing.
We'll take that. We'll take that.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to be with all of you this morning. And today Greg will start off with a question for the group and then go into a mindfulness practice. So if you can, and after that, we'll have time for questions and answers. So if you have any of those to begin with, you can go to the bottom of your screen, open up the chat. And if you are interested in seeing everybody's questions as a group, you can click the drop-down menu and choose panelists and attendees, and then you'll be able to see the conversations as we go about the morning. And that is it. So Greg, what kind of question do we have this morning for the group?
So the question is, where do you go when you need to settle the mind? Where do you go? What do you do? How do you help yourself when the mind needs to slow down and settle, to become steady?
Okay, very good question.
Yeah, well, I'm a basics guy. So, so today,
and just to jump in too, we'll look at a couple of the
sure
questions before we go. So folks are saying to the ocean, outside, right to the breathing, yoga.
Yeah.
Trying to get outside if possible.
Yeah.
Take a very deep breath. Outside in nature, run into on a run or into my meditation corner of my room. Walk, reading a book, to my sailboat, sounds nice. My piano. My bedroom alone or with my kitty, earbuds and really loud music. To the beach, fresh air, step away from screens and devices, classical music. Lots of good ways to.
Oh, I love it. Wow, this really touched a chord, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, this is wisdom, isn't it, folks? I mean, to know where you can go to help yourself is one of the most important skills that we can build in this life. So good for you for knowing, and then good for you for actually going there when the time is right? It's one thing to know where you can go. It's another thing to really go there. And so what I thought we'd do today is a very simple focusing exercise, which for me is a place where I go, where I need to help the mind to settle. And maybe you'll find that it's a place that will serve you as well. So it's a simple focusing exercise. You've all done it before. It's about settling the mind, relaxing the mind, comforting the mind. The instructions are basic, but as we all know, it's not easy, right? These minds, they've got their own will sometimes, don't they? And it doesn't take much for each one of us to become a little bored or unsatisfied with the present moment. And then before we know it, the mind is off, reliving the past, traveling into the future, wanting things to be more exciting, wanting to get away from the present moment sometimes. And yet, the rewards are great if we can learn what we can do to settle the mind and help it come into the present moment. We can feel more peace in the mind. We can help the body to relax. And with practice, we know we have a place we can turn to whenever life presents turbulence to us, challenge, right? We know we have a place we can always turn to. That's right there. Okay, so let's start a practice. I'll invite you to find a comfortable position for yourself. Most of us are probably sitting in a chair. So please make whatever small adjustments you need to make to sitting posture to help find that balance between relaxation and effort. Right? We want to be relaxed. We want to invite the body to relax. But we also want to support being awake. So you might experiment with pulling your back away from the back of the chair or couch, just so you're using a little of your own energy. You can always lean back if that seems right to you. And in the beginning of this practice, I'm going to invite you to take deeper breaths, to elongate, lengthen your breaths. So maybe on the inhalation to a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then hold it for a count of 4. And then exhale to a count of 4. And maybe to do that 4 times on your own, a little bit more deeply. The deeper breathing is said to stimulate what's called the relaxation response, helping to slow down the metabolism, slow down the breathing, slow down the heart rate, calm the energy in the body. And after those 3 or 4 breaths, I'll invite you now to breathe naturally, just as you normally would. And you're noticing when you breathe naturally, where is breathing most prominent for you? Could be the nose, could be the nostrils, the mouth, the upper torso, somewhere in the chest and lungs, the belly, the abdomen. There's no right place. Where is it most prominent for you? And this will be the resting place for your attention. The resting place. We're inviting the mind to steady, to collect itself and rest, to gather right around this prominent place of breathing. Resting, settling, inviting. We're not forcing concentration here. We're not straining. We're resting and settling, letting the mind come together around this place where breathing is most prominent for you. allowing the breath to be as it is. And coming as close to it as you can, knowing it. Now, what happens if the mind wanders? And it will for each one of us at some point. Rather than evidence of failure, this is what is sometimes called the magic moment. How do we meet this moment when we notice the mind has wandered? Are we patient with ourselves? Are we kind to ourselves when we notice? Do we maybe bring a little humor to it? Well, there's the mind, it's going again. We're also trying to cultivate this attitude. Hey, I noticed, it's okay, and let me simply bring it back. If there was criticism, self-criticism, or judgment, to offer kindness to yourself about this. This is as much a part of the practice here. Steadying the mind, helping it to settle, noticing when it moves away, offering kindness, comfort, patience, a smile to yourself, and begin again. We're breathing, we're sitting, resting the mind, and there's a knowing that we're breathing and sitting. We're cultivating this space to which we can always return whenever we need to help steady the mind. And the more we go there, the more this becomes a natural habit of the mind to do so. If the mind feels settled, you might open up the panorama of your awareness to sensations present anywhere in the body, not just breathing. You might raise your arms by your sides and up over your head. just to see if you can maintain that momentum of restful and settled awareness on a more expansive vista, your whole body. And if any time the restlessness reemerges or the agitation in the mind, you can always go back to that one place where breathing is most prominent. And I'll count backwards from 3. And when I get to 1, I'll invite you to reopen your eyes and come back to the group. 3, 2, 1.
Great. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you. Can we maintain that momentum of a restful and settled awareness, even while the eyes are open? Still noticing our breathing, the body. So what's up for you?
I noticed a question that came in early on, Greg, that references back to Shanti Douglas's session on Tuesday. And she was talking about sleep and what do people do to enhance, get themselves in a mode of sleep or to enable them to sleep better. And she mentioned the term digital sunset. And the context was, as people were saying, and someone was just saying, can you elaborate more on that? And I'm going to make some assumptions for Shanti, but people were discussing turning off their devices and a certain amount of time before they go to sleep. And really, I think she was calling that the digital sunset, and the fact that you can take a certain amount of time during the night that you decide, okay, it's time to let this device go to sleep and turn it off, so that blue light kind of effect doesn't affect our sleep. So I think that was really what she was referencing. So I just wanted to make sure.
I would think so too. There's not only the energy, that electrical energy that the brain is tapping into when we have those devices on, but it's also that intense focus. And I hope people have seen it's a little different than the focus that we've been cultivating this morning, which is a more restful, settled, relaxed focus. And that's the type of focus we need to tap into if we're trying to fall asleep at night, right? We want to disengage the mind, and hence the phrase, turning off the digital stuff. Yeah, very helpful.
And let us know if you have any other questions related to the practice, that just incorporating the practice into your day, anything related to what Greg has taken us through as far as settling the mind. I know when you mention about settling, one thing I think about during the day that helps me is coming back into the body, like you were guiding us,
Mhm.
because the body is always in the present moment. So if we can come back to those body sensations,
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
think that can remind us where we are and where the body is.
Yeah, well, the breath and the body are often called the first foundation of mindfulness for reasons that at least make sense to me, and that they're very much in the here and now. They're tangible, tactile. We can touch the body, we can feel our breathing, and it helps to, and it's when we feel sensations, those sensations are happening in the present moment. So very, very practical to base your mindfulness practice in awareness of the body. Um, Other things that we want to learn to become aware of, like thoughts and emotions, very powerful, but more tricky, aren't they? You know, we've all heard the expression lost in thought, which is just the opposite of being mindful, right? That's more about being lost or in a trance or train of thought, right? So we want to um, develop the mind, first off, by being able to stay with breathing and sensations in the body. And then as concentration develops, we can take on these more challenging targets, like noticing thoughts without getting lost in the story of the thoughts, or being able to note a mood or an impulse without being captured or compelled by that mood or impulse, to be able to just note, oh, there's anger right now, or there's sadness, without spiraling down or acting it out. But those take more practice, and it's accessible to all of us. But um, in the beginning, we really want to focus on body and breath.
Hmm. Yeah, someone has made a comment which I really connect with. At a doctor's office, when listening to my chest, I feel they're hurrying me along. I tend to take deep breaths with a long exhale, and maybe they're not used to that. I felt the same way, like when someone asked me to just, check my breathing, and I really take my time.
Yeah, well,
I can
uh,
connect with that. And
yeah. Uh,
Colleen also asks, can you address the strong emotions that come up during meditation? I find myself crying sometimes and can't seem to let it pass.
Look at crying or sadness, um, sadness or grief is a natural human emotion. All right, we're human beings. Those are things that we feel sometimes. So I don't want to suggest that when we feel them, sadness or grief or pain in some way, that something is wrong. Something is not wrong, right? Sometimes life is challenging. Sometimes there's loss in life. And so it's quite normal to feel those feelings. The question is, can we notice when we do feel them? And how do we treat ourselves when we notice that? If we don't notice that we're feeling sadness or loss or grief, then what can happen sometimes is we can spiral down with that. Oh my God, this is never going to go away. I'm never going to get better. My life is a wreck. The world isn't safe. And that only adds to our torture and despair. So again, natural to feel sadness, grief, disappointment at sometimes. But if we can notice that that is what's the truth for our moment right now, here's the thing: can we offer kindness and comfort to ourselves in that moment? Again, just as we would to a friend. So for the one person who asked that question, if a friend called you and said, I was sitting quietly and started feeling sad and crying, what would you do? You would speak sweet and gentle words to your friend. You would simulate putting your arm around your friend and say, I'm here for you, my friend. What about offering that to ourselves in our time of sadness? To calm ourselves, comfort ourselves.
Yeah. And I feel like tears are a release at times. It's almost like an exhale of a breath that
Yeah,
if
yeah.
they really help us release what's
Look at, there's reasons to be sad about some things in this world around us, right? There's reasons to be joyful about some things, and there's really reasons to feel sad and grief about some things. So
Mm.
that's what we signed up for when we decided to be a human being this time around.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you for your comments and participation from the folks out on the call, on the session. And just to, Greg would like to end us with a couple of ending opportunities for mindfulness. So I'll just go through our quick ways to keep in touch, and then we'll come back to ending on a little bit of a mindfulness note. Just staying in touch and being with us Tuesdays and Thursdays every time at 8:30. Virtual fitness classes on our website at Living Well at Home. Yoga, Zumba, and wellness webinars are always there. And also the pain management resources on mindful.org with our partnership with Mindful, both in English and in Spanish. Connecting with us on Facebook at Mind the Moment, and also seeing these sessions, older sessions, and interviews Tara has had with researchers in the field on our YouTube page on the video tab. So coming back together and wrapping it up.
Thank you, Suzanne. So much out there, so many resources out there to help. So it's worth all our times to check them out. It can help. So just a closing meditation for a minute or two. It's a meditation from a well-known Vietnamese monk, Thich Nhat Hanh. Many of you have probably heard of him, who's had as much to do with bringing mindfulness to the West as any human being has, probably. A very wise and sweet man. And it goes like this. First, I'll invite you to close your eyes and find a comfortable position for yourself. This closing meditation sort of speaks to the last comment by that one person. Life can be difficult sometimes. Disappointing, it can be pain, it can be suffering. But life is also more than that. There's the blue sky, the eyes of a baby, the sunrise, the sunset, the smile of a loved one. To just feel pain, to just feel suffering is not enough. There's more to life than that. We can train the mind to feel the joy, to feel the beauty, to feel the wonder of life. It would be a shame to miss it all. So nice to spend this time with you today. Find time to practice. It helps us, each one of us, live our lives.
Thank you so much, Greg. And thank you to everyone for joining this morning and for taking in all the wonderful wisdom that Greg has to offer. We will see you all soon. Hopefully we'll see you next Tuesday. Thanks again and have a good day.
Be well. Be well.